mic check, please.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ducks Unlimited podcast. I'm your host, Chris Jennings.
I'm your host, Dr. Mike Brazier.
My name is John Gordon. I'll be your host.
And I'm your host, Katie Burke.
Welcome to the Ducks Unlimited podcast, the only podcast about all things waterfowl. From hunting insights to science-based discussions about ducks, geese, and issues affecting waterfowl and wetlands conservation in North America. We bring the resource to you, the DU Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Ducks Unlimited podcast. I'm your host, John Gordon. I've got some very special guests today, and we're doing this from the very cool DU podcast studios and national headquarters in Memphis, which I always like to do because I get to see people face to face. You know, it's always nice to be able to, talk to somebody in person versus on the phone or on the computer. So today, my guests are very special guests today. We've got Henry and Lakeisha Woodard from Halo Hunting. That's H-A-L-O. Henry, break it down. What's Halo mean?
Halo stands for Henry and Lakeisha Outdoors. And yes, Halo is in the house. We're in the booth here at Ducks Unlimited. And hey, it's awesome. I mean, they got the place set up. And I mean, I feel like I'm about to drop a track right now. But but going straight back to Halo, it's really about me and my wife, Lakeisha. We've been married 21 years, and it's about our episodes in the outdoors where we raise 4 beautiful kids. I have 3 daughters and a son, and we just want people just to follow along on our adventures, because the outdoors is the lifestyle. It's really what we love doing, and it's been awesome.
Very good, very good. So you're talking about your kids. I mean, so how many children do y'all have? Lakeisha, I'm gonna make you answer that.
All right, yes, we have 4 beautiful children, and they range from age 8 all the way up to 19. And we have Angel, she's our oldest. Then we have Trinity, then Ezekiel, our only son, and then we have our baby girl, Harmony. And they all love being in the outdoors. They've all harvested wild turkey, deer. Even our oldest daughter, she's harvested a wild hog. So they really enjoy this lifestyle, as being able to even also enjoy the harvest and eating it, because they love some deer meat. They love deer steak. That is one of their favorites. So we keep our kids involved in the outdoors, and this is something that they like to do, and we want to make sure that we teach them being in the outdoors and good stewards of land, and to
keep it going. I mean, legacy and heritage, is everything. Just simple things in life, about trying to make leaving the property better than it was when we found it. Are some of the principles that we stand up on. Of course, we're a godly family, and we put our faith above everything. And we feel that it's because of him that we can do what we do. And because of him, we are here where we are right now. Let's get it.
That's right, man. And family's what it's all about. I've only got one child, but I really brought him up, in the, like you said, it's a lifestyle. It's not just, something that you do. If you really take it seriously, it becomes your life. Anyway, like you said, from preparation to the actual hunt itself, to the harvest, to the meals, it's all great. And I've been really proud of my kid. He's he can go out on his own and hunt ducks and really kind of take the lead and kind of, guide his buddies around, because I taught him everything he really knows from the time he was a little child. And that's maybe the one thing he's listened to me on, I think, more than any others, was my expertise on hunting waterfowl. So anyway, speaking of kids, Henry, let's go back in time a little bit and talk about your influences in hunting and how you really got started and where. Just take me back to young Henry and going out for the first time.
Well, young Henry was just a typical inner city kid here in Memphis. A great family, but my parents were from Mississippi, the country life, and so my dad, he's actually he farmed soybeans, and so he would leave and go to the country and farm. And here my mother is from the city, and she would actually take me fishing. So I'll have to say it's a combination of them both. The fishing that my mother instilled at me at a very young age, and then my father going along on the farm. However, I didn't really the tractors wasn't what got my gears going. It was, I would look at those critters in the field, and I think all of that was just the perfect combination. My dad giving me a BB gun when I was age 12, and I mean, I took off from there. So, hey, that's really where it originated from.
Well, that's great. Great that you had that outlet, that you had access to the country. You know, so many kids, especially in the inner city, never see it, right? So something we've tried to do at Ducks Unlimited, really instilling love for the outdoors within young groups, within kids, you know, and really bringing them into it. So that was really good that your dad really brought you out there into the outdoors and showed you the ropes, so to speak. And, you know, Lakeisha, I know it was Henry that was your real influence, but what was your background growing up as a young person?
Right. Unlike Henry, I did not have that person or that father or brother, you know, that was in the outdoors or fishing and hunting and things like that. So it wasn't until after I met Henry and we got married, I had no idea that Henry was this big time hunter, and he loved deer hunting, turkey hunting. I mean, he would go out every weekend to the woods. And I'm like, now, he didn't tell me this when we first got married. So I had no idea that, you know, he was a hunter. And I really wasn't, you know, I was a city girl. You know, I didn't really like bugs, and I still don't. You know, I wasn't really that country girl. And so after we got married, Henry, he was like, Lakeisha, why don't you just come out and film my turkey hunt for me? And so I was like, well, you know what? I might as well just go ahead and give it a try, because he used to leave me all the time. So I decided to, you know, I wanted to be out there with him. I said, well, let me just see what it's all about. He just want me to film for him. And so we went out there. We set up, this is a turkey hunt, and we were in the ground blind, and we had our decoys up. Henry had his mouth call or diaphragm call, and it was a turkey. Henry, he did his mouth call. Go do it, Henry. He did that, and then the next thing you know, I heard gobble, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then, you know, Henry did it a little more mouth calling, and then the turkey gobbled back, and before you know it, that turkey came into our setup, and the next thing you know, boom, Henry shot the turkey, and I thought it was the most amazing thing, you know. I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is what I've been missing out on. Like, I had no idea, you know, just the excitement. And, you know, Henry, he was so excited, and, you know, you could just see that he just was so happy about it. And me to just see him being happy and how he was, I was like, wow, so this is what I've been missing all of this time, that he's been coming out here every weekend, you know, in the woods. And so on the next adventure out, Henry said that, Lakeisha, next time, you're going to shoot the turkey, and I'm going to film you shooting the turkey. And so after that, I went out and I shot my first turkey. We actually pulled a double on my first turkey, and I was pregnant at the time. Then I think we had our 4-year-old daughter with us. And so that was my first turkey. And I mean, it's been history ever since.
Yeah, that's when I realized that Lakeisha was serious. I mean, I took my turkey, and then Lakeisha's turkey was about to get away. And I'm gonna tell you something. As that turkey was getting away, I thought it was over, but Lakeisha pulled the old man. She shot it from. She shot the turkey. It was so far. I mean, the turkey. She shot a running away turkey. And I mean, she laid them smooth out. And I mean, something happened on that hunt. And so it's been great ever since. And I'm going to say today, a lot of people ask the question, you know, what did you do? How did you get your wife involved? Well, I want to say this. I'm gonna get a secret out. You got to be patient. I mean, that's what anybody that's in the outdoors. You can't start them off rough, you know, give them a gun big enough that they can tote, you know, hold this, shoot this, do this, don't do that, you know. But it's about being patient. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you something. Once you be patient and that person gets to a point where they love the outdoors, I'm going to tell you what it's all about. You have someone to open the cattle gates for you for life.
That's right. Whoever's in the passenger seat, man, gets the cattle gate. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But, yeah, you brought up a very good point with that, Henry, and I've seen that with kids, too. If they have a bad experience off the jump, it's going to affect everything going forward. So you've really got to be patient with them, understanding, and really bring them into it correctly, the right way. And so, yeah, that's really, really important deal. And especially, you know, for female hunters, Oh, you see so much with fathers, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got sons, and they're like, man, they're taking the sons hunting, and the daughter's sitting there looking at them going, man, I'd like to do that, and they're just being left behind. And we filmed a really, really good DUTV episode that's going to come out this summer with 4 really great women down in Texas. And what really struck me was the fact that when the 4 of them were sitting there together, they all looked at each other and said, you know something? This is the first time I've ever been hunting with other women before in my life.
Wow.
All 4 of them had the same experience, that they were the only, girl in the blind. It was all a male-dominated deal. I thought to myself, man, that's what this show is all about.
Yeah.
It's about inspiring people to get their kids involved, and especially their female children involved in the outdoors.
I don't really know. I ended up with 3 daughters, and the thing is, I wanted that son starting off. But, I had an old preacher, he looked at me, he said, Henry, he said, God's teaching you love. He said, when your love get right, you have that boy. Right. I can kind of understand it, it's a different type of love, that you develop, and a different type of patience that it took to make me where I am today in the outdoors. But my daughters, my oldest daughter, she is a crack shot. From no matter what it is, whitetail, hogs, quail, it doesn't matter. She's always been good at listening. Women are very good at listening, and sometimes guys, we can get caught up in the macho thing, trying to say I know how it's done, or I can do it like this, but that's what make women special. So the outdoors has a special place for women. And even through hunting Lakeisha, I have more confidence in her ability than I have in some guys that I turkey hunt with. I ask her questions about, should I hunt here, or should I do this, or what do you think? So it's a beautiful relationship.
Right. I definitely have to agree, Henry. And even, getting girls or, women introduced into the outdoors. Our daughter, Trinity, when we go out, and sometimes we may take one child at a time, sometimes, it just kind of depends. She really wants to be out there. She was like, sometimes we have to make way for her to come along too, if that wasn't part of the plan. But she really, really wants to get out there. She really loves it. So, and I definitely know her seeing me outdoors is inspiring her, and then her sisters as well, they're getting out there. So I think it is very encouraging when other women see other women participating in the outdoor. Right.
It's the largest growing segment, I believe, in the outdoor segment. It is female hunters, and you see it in the industry too. From the time I was a kid, there was nothing, no clothes for women, no guns for women, no bows for women, no nothing for women, and it was just like you were expected as a boy, oh yeah, here you go, you're going hunting, but she's not. And so I've really enjoyed seeing that change over the years. That and some of the best shots and hunters I know are female. It just that y'all just have a better, I think because you go into it with an open mind. Mm-hmm. A lot more than some men do, that you just become better at it. And dog trainers too. I know some really great dog trainers that are women. They just, I think it's great. I had a couple of questions for you. I know y'all are big deer and turkey hunters.
Oh yeah.
Is there a favorite between the two?
Between the deer and the turkey?
Yeah.
My take on it, I like shooting. I like taking whitetail, but I really enjoy going after big mature bucks. That's really what is exciting. However, I think it's probably we're going to give it to the wild turkey.
Yes.
When you agree, Lakeisha?
I definitely agree. It's something about just going after that turkey. It's a challenge, and you really have to think about what you're doing. You have to think about, okay, so do I go this way? Do I go that way? Do I do this type of call? And it's just, I think it's just so, it really makes you think, and it's just a good challenge.
Even the interaction, I would say, when you're out there whitetail hunting, let's say there's a particular buck you're looking for, or, you're just trying to take a nice mature buck. Well, you have so many questions, and it's so many things that go through your head. What happened to the deer? Is the deer still alive? Is the deer going to come in? So sometimes, as skilled as you are when it comes to being a whitetail hunter, I think it sometimes just the luck of the draw of that buck just stepping out at that particular time. But with turkey hunting, even when you lose, you feel like you were at least about to win. I mean, the turkey gonna give you, it could give you a little hope, by gobbling back, interacting with you, and you know what's going on. It's a chess game, so you're trying to make the right move. And like I say, even if you don't get that turkey, I mean, hey, you live to hunt another day. But sometimes with whitetail hunting, it's a lot of unclosed chapters.
Yeah, isn't that the truth, man? Because sometimes deer just, you see them on camera or whatever, you see them in passing, and you never see them again. Mm-hmm. It's just like, because they travel so much, they could be 5 miles away from your property. You don't know it at the time.
Right.
And turkeys, on the other hand, are a lot more, you know where they are, pretty much. They're going to be in that same area. Mm-hmm. One thing I really love with waterfowl is calling. Okay, figuring out what to say and when is just as important in turkey hunting. Maybe it's more important what to say and when with them. And so I think you're talking about chess versus checkers. It's very much a chess game with turkeys.
Right.
They, you can make a misstep on it and they'll vanish on you. I think it makes you a better outdoorsman for sure to be a turkey hunter.
100%. Knowing the lay of the land. Sometimes, it's about learning what a turkey wants to be. And, like you say, I got to agree. You have to really think like a turkey. And I imagine that even when we went waterfowl hunting, I mean, you have to know when to call, how loud. You have to predict the mood that they're in. So that's very important.
Yeah, extremely important. Lakeisha, are you a good turkey caller?
Oh, yeah, I am. Well, not with the mouth call just yet, but I love the slate call. That's one of my favorites. Normally, Henry does the mouth call. I run the slate, and sometimes we'll just kind of, go back and forth, and it has been working out great for us. When we hunt together, we hunt as a team, so we kind of know when to do which call at what time, and we kind of rely on each other. So,
Lakeisha, she's a better mouth call yelper. She gives herself credit for, but what it is, she said, I sound so good, but
Henry does.
You just gotta come out. You just gotta let it go,
When I'm by myself, I do.
Yeah. I remember one time I was hunting turkey hunting around Preston Pittman, and I didn't want to call him in front of him, you know what I mean? But when I started calling, he said, man, you sound good. He said, you do the calling, so sometimes it's just about having that confidence and just going for it.
I know exactly what you mean. I hunted with Jim Ronquist, Drake Outdoors, and formerly of Richington. And that can be intimidating because, this guy's a world champion. You're like, do I really sound as good as I think I do? Right. To where it would impress a guy like Jimbo. And, but those guys are just like the rest of us. They just are very good at a particular thing. But they don't judge, I don't think, on how you sound, because, hell, let's face it, ducks and geese sound different. They have different voices just like people do. So and same with turkeys, that they just, so you really can't make a mistake, as far as it goes. Here's a question for you. What do you think is the biggest gift that the outdoors has to offer people?
First of all, the camaraderie of meeting people in the outdoors, you just got to think. Here I was, a inner city child, and I remember, seeing even the Ducks Unlimited headquarters, and I thought the logo looked so special, and I was like, man, I wonder, is that a place where I can go, or what do you have to do I just didn't know, but the outdoors have allowed me to meet so many different types of people from all kinds of various backgrounds. And and it's been life-changing. You never know when you're going to be in camp with someone that's going to say something that's going to change your life or alter your path, And so, God has given this to us. And as far as it's being out there to enjoy it or to see it, it's free. God, he gave it to us, and it's up to us to be stewards. And just that fellowship, it has awakened even my senses. I understood. I can hear the birds chirping in the morning. I can hear the different animals, waking up. And so, you're at a place where you're using all of your senses, and it makes you feel so alive being in the outdoors. That's what I take out of it.
It's a very good point. Very good point. You're talking about the camaraderie aspect of it. Let's face it, the three of us wouldn't have met each other. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about it if it weren't for our common love of the outdoors.
Exactly.
That has brought so many people together from all walks of life over hundreds of years.
Right.
That never would have interacted with each other without it. And that, to me, that's the most important thing of it. Like I said, it's God's gift to the world, and you got to enjoy it. And I feel sorry for folks who don't get an opportunity to. So that's one thing at Ducks Unlimited we really, once again, try to do is introduce new people, bring, kids into it and adults, both, into the outdoors and to enjoy what nature has to offer.
Yeah, it's amazing, when we're talking about a duck. Some people may look at a duck and just, think, oh, it's just a bird, or it's, it's just an animal you may see. But somebody cares so much about ducks that they decide to put forth an effort to make sure that the ducks are still here and they have a habitat. So by them caring for the ducks and doing all these things, here we are. And that's just mind-blowing, that someone can look out and just see an animal through an animal such as a duck. These relationships and these bonds have been created. So it's awesome.
Very good, very good. All right, we're going to take a little break here on the DU podcast, but we'll be right back with Henry and Lakeisha Woodard. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Ducks Unlimited podcast. My guests today, Henry and Lakeisha Woodard, Halo Outdoors. We recently filmed a DU Nation segment with Henry and Lakeisha at Dr. Ronald Robertson's place in Tippo, Mississippi. Shout out to Dr. Ronald. He was incredible. He was a gracious host, and he's been such an incredible part of Ducks Unlimited for so long. We just can't thank him enough. So here's a question for both of you. Henry, I'm going to start with you. What was your perceptions about what duck hunting was going to be like, and what were they in reality?
Well, I thought that, first of all, I'm laughing. I thought I was going to just be blasting, boom, 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 and I thought I was going to be laying on my back, and I'm going to all of a sudden pop out of a blind, and someone going to say, take them, you know what I mean? But I understand that there are several ways of duck hunting, but I'm gonna tell you something. I was not disappointed at all. I mean, man, it's so much just to take in and to digest, but it just was amazing. Just we were hunting in the slough. You hear people saying, "I'm not gonna stand out there in the freezing cold weather," but hey, we had the gear. We had the gear, the waders, the jackets. All of that makes. All of it makes it different. And actually, the difference is, when you're deer hunting, you're kind of sitting still, but it actually wasn't that bad because we could move around, we could talk. Man, it actually was pretty cool overall.
Yeah, that's one aspect I really love about waterfowling is being able to talk to each other, the camaraderie aspect of it. Just be able to cut up with each other and rib each other about, hey, you missed that shot or did this, that, and the other. I mean, that's something you can't do when you're hunting whitetails or turkeys, right? No. You don't get that opportunity because you have to be so quiet and so immobile in a lot of ways. But at duck hunting, it doesn't matter. Now, when the ducks are working, you need to be as calm and quiet to keep them from seeing you. But it's overall it's a much more open experience to me than whitetails or big game in general or turkeys. Lakeisha, what do you think? I mean, what was your thoughts coming into it, and how was it in reality?
This is something that Henry and we have been waiting so long to be a part of, is duck hunting. And so when I first, I was thinking that we're going to be hitting every duck that comes by. I was like, okay, if we can shoot turkeys and, quail and other things like that, I was like, oh, duck hunting, this is going to be a piece of cake. I'm used to the cold and, so we get out there and, I was like, okay, we may not hit every duck, but it's kind of what I expected a little bit as far as, the weather and, just being out there and and like Henry said, being able to talk with the others that you're hunting with, having conversations and just, being able to do more than one thing while you're waiting for the ducks to come in, and then just watching those guys do the duck calls and, making those ducks come our way, kind of like turkey hunting, you're calling, then the turkeys are gobbling and everything. That's kind of what I was kind of like thinking it was going to be similar to, even though, they're flying in the sky. So I was looking at like, okay, so that's kind of pretty much how I thought it was going to be.
Very good. You're talking about that, expected to hit everything. The best shots in the world don't hit them all. And that's one thing you have to really embrace, I think, with wing shooting a lot of times is the failure, okay? Because you have to have a real short memory with it. I learned that a long time ago. I was a kid, boy, I used to beat myself up about missing birds, and I'm like, man, the best shots in the world don't hit them all. So you just gotta forget about it and move on to the next shot. And that probably helped me more than anything else. But we'll get y'all on sporting clay range and stuff. We're gonna work on it, okay, to where y'all will be competent wing shots the next time we go out for sure. You're talking about different types of duck hunting. Okay, what we did basically was good old Mississippi style, standing in the trees kind of deal, right? And you got fixed blinds that you hunt out of. Like we were at Beaver Dam on DU Nation. That's an incredible blind right there. It's got a kitchen and everything else in it. You can go as elaborate or as unelaborate as you want to. I think what you were talking about, Henry, is a lot of people layout blinds, which is a lot of people way goose hunting goes a lot of times in fields. Where you're laying out in the blind and you pop up to shoot. So what we introduced y'all to is just one little small aspect of what different types of duck hunting and goose hunting are. Welcome to the world of waterfowl hunting. That's all I can say about that. It's really a great experience all the way around. What advice would y'all give to beginning duck hunters?
To a beginning duck hunter, I would just say find someone that has already been duck hunting and has that experience that can help you out. Because just having someone that already knows the ropes, it'll help you out and it'll keep you out of trouble, and you'll be safe with it as well.
Lakeisha?
Right. I have to agree with you there, Henry. And, being with that experienced duck hunter, you're able to learn hands-on from that person and just kind of watch them, how they work the ducks and how they call. All of that's going to be very important. I think that was the biggest thing, is having someone else out there with us who was already experienced duck hunter.
Dr. Ronald Robertson is great. He's done so much mentoring with kids especially, and so he's really patient with it and tries to tell you what you're doing wrong, what you should do right. And, I noticed that with him. He was really interactive, and you can see that there's, from day one to day two, I think y'all were a lot more prepared, we were in that slough for what was, going to happen than the first morning, and that's just you gain experience. And you get better and better at it over the years. So it's just a growth experience. And I think, having a mentor to really guide you through it is pretty important, because it's really, there's so much to waterfowl hunting and so much to the nuances of hiding, calling, decoy placement, decoy selection, spread types, everything. There's a huge amount of stuff to it, where I think with deer and turkeys, you just kind of have to be where they are and be set up in the right spot, and in certain aspects say the right things with turkeys especially, but it just doesn't have it's gear intensive as well, duck hunting. You've got everywhere from boats to decoys and guns and dogs and everything else. So it's a different world.
I'm going to say one more thing. When I first started hunting whitetails or turkeys, I would read resources. And I say, check out Ducks Unlimited, look at the resources, and I'm pretty sure they have tips and all kinds of things, to point you in the right direction. But I think that's a great place even to get started by finding those resources as well.
Agreed. Yeah, you can go to our website, ducks.org, and you've got tremendous amount of waterfowl hunting tips, migration reports, everything else is right there at your fingertips to really help you be a better hunter. And that's something that we've really strived to do. And it's not, but DU's not all about hunting, right? It's, we're an organization for wetlands conservation, and what that means for people too. What we do affects people's lives just as well as wildlife, with clean water, with helping communities. So it's something that we've really worked on is trying to get that message out as well, that we're not just about duck hunting, and that we're a wetlands conservation organization, and that trickles down into a lot of different things. So when are you going to get your kids out duck hunting? I know that's the next step, right? You got to bring the kids into it as well.
I would say this. I think we're pretty fortunate. We have some land in the delta, the flyway, and we have a place where ducks tend to normally just congregate naturally, you know. So, you hear people talking about how expensive it is. I'm pretty sure that land is probably one of the great expenses of having
that's a
ducks.
big one.
So, okay, we got that covered. I guess we gotta give them to the range, maybe do some practice shooting, and I mean, how old is she's already ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's a matter of when they can handle the gun and hold it up properly,
Right.
To lift it up
Quick enough.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a different aspect. It's a lot easier with turkey or deer to control a gun because you're not swinging it all over the place like waterfowl.
Right.
So I think you're right. You have to have be old enough and have the motor skills to handle the gun properly and safely. It's a big, and that's a huge part of it.
Right.
You've really got to pay attention to what you're doing. So anyway, here's something I like to ask everybody. Ask them about their favorite hunts. Lakeisha, I'm going to start with you. Is there a hunt in your mind that really stands out?
This is one of our most recent ones. Henry and I, we were actually on our way home. We were done hunting for the day, turkey hunting, and it was still early though, but we were done for the day. So on our way home, we were just driving, past the fields and see if we saw anything. And it just so happened that as we were on our way out, just riding through fields of some land that we hunt, there were turkeys out in the field. We didn't know if there were long beards or if there were hens, jakes, we had no idea. So Henry, we said, okay, let's just sneak our way up there. And they were pretty far. And so Henry and I, we went from wood line to the edge of the woods, going through the woods, trying to sneak around on these turkeys. When we finally got to where we can visibly see with our eyes, because we had no binoculars with us, Henry, he said, Lakeisha, they're longbeards. He says, longbeards out there. He said, we're going to have to, sneak around and go this way. Because like I said, it was an open field and the woods were only on the wood line. Then it was like another little patch of woods that we had to try to hurry up and sneak to without the turkey seeing us. And so we ended up going into this little, it's like a tree where a tree had fell over, and then it's like a hole in the ground. And so we got in this, in the hole that was in the ground, because the turkeys were over a little small ditch. And by me being inside the hole, I really couldn't see as tall as Henry could, because we were on our knees. And Henry, he was like, okay, Lakeisha, the longbeard is right there. You need to shoot the longbeard when you can see him. So, like I said, Henry's a little taller than me. So I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't see the longbeard. I saw the hens, but I didn't see the longbeard, and I couldn't see his beard. He was like, okay, you're going to have to raise up right now. And keep in mind, I'm in a hole in the ground where a tree fell from. And so I raised up, and I was like, okay. So I just see the turkey, the back of his fan, because he was fanned out. I was like, okay, I see his fan. So as soon as that moment where I saw his head, I was like, okay, I know I better hurry up and take this shot. As soon as he turned, like from the back of his fan, turned toward the side, then he turned in the front. That split of a second, I hurry up and I pulled the trigger, and he went down. And I want to say it was about maybe 40 yards estimated, something around there, a little over 40 yards. And so I was like, he flipped, and I was like, and I still couldn't see because like the way the ditch was made, I just knew he went down. So, we hurry up and get up to try to make sure, that I got him and everything, which I did. And Henry, he was like, wait, Lakeisha, wait, because we had no idea that there were like maybe 6 other longbeards, because Henry was going to try to take a shot, but we had no idea that it was that many longbeards still right there. But I think I kind of busted them up when I started running toward them. So I think that was like one of the most, we really had to go after those turkeys, because they kept moving. Every time we'd get close, he was like, okay, I think they're going to stay right there. They'll move down some more. So we had to sneak to another tree or another part of the wood line. I mean, that was like the most memorable in the recent years. So,
man, very good. That's a great story. And you talk about that, especially in the middle of the day. Sometimes, groups of longbeards will group up together and hang out in the middle of those fields. Kind of hanging out with hens and stuff like that. And so you can really see those birds a long way. Henry, so I'm gonna throw that question at you again. In a turkey hunting context, what's a turkey that was really giving you the slip, and you really had to stay after it?
Let's talk about. I want to talk about something embarrassing. Okay.
Okay. We'll do that too.
Everyone want to talk about the turkey they killed. Let's talk about the one that we
one that
did.
got away. Yeah.
The Rios.
Oh.
Now I know everybody like Rios. They're like easy. Okay, yeah, they are. I'm gonna say this. Me and Lakeisha, we have done a lot of doubles. We've taken a lot of doubles, and we have never raised our guns on a group of turkeys where at least one of them wasn't taken. It has never happened. Well, so we go down to Texas. I think it's Hundo, Texas, with a friend of ours. I'm gonna call his name Chris. Chris is so excited to be hunting with us. When we first got there, Chris busted a turkey because he's like, "What's taking so long? These Rios normally come in." That was Chris number one. He gonna listen to this podcast and be like, but
that's Henry, Chris.
Yeah. And then Chris, he was like, man, we ought to get up and look. And I think that Chris was so excited. If we just probably would have just stayed put more, we probably would have taken the turkey. And finally, when me and Lakeisha, it's like the last day and the last moment. And I mean, it's so many turkeys out there that it sounds like a gospel choir of turkeys gobbling on the roost. I've never experienced anything like it before. And so finally, here comes these Rios. They're coming, and all right, this is where things go wrong. Okay, we're trying to film, which we always film and hunt at the same time, but the turkeys are coming like a hard left. And Lakeisha's on my left, and it's kind of hard to swing that way. And I mean, that was our last moment, and those Rios came in, and something happened. I don't know if at the last moment one moved, and we counted off and shot. And I'm gonna tell you what, everything went left. I mean, I'm not gonna even talk about the footage when we looked at the footage and saw everything that we were doing wrong. But I'm gonna tell you what, those two Rios got away, and I mean, we've been.
Yeah, you like you said, anybody would experience it at Eastern turkeys like y'all are. Rios, you're like, oh, that's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But they're still turkeys, right?
Yeah.
So they can still be a problem. They can still be very tough, no matter which species you're after. Yeah, is that a goal of y'all's Grand Slam?
Mm-hmm. It is.
World Slam?
It sure is. Yep. We got to go out and we got to get it done.
I mean, I've only hunted eastern birds. I've never, and I lived in Texas for many years, and I've just never. I was always chasing waterfowl all over the place, and I never really cared about the turkey hunting aspect of it. But the whole world of Rios, and then another turkey that I'd really love to go after is Miriam's. The country is beautiful where they live. It's out west. It's really great, and then the swamp ghosts that the Osceolas are down in Florida, and that's a really unique turkey too because it's such a limited range. You only got them in one spot in the entire world,
right?
So you have to go South Florida to get after those. And
Osceolas.
Yes. Right.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Osceolas are only in that narrow corridor, and so you got to go. We've got a really great conservation easement down there, the DeLuca property, which is like 27,000 acres. It's our largest conservation easement in the country, and it's Osceola country as well, and so it's really unique. So what we've done there is really benefited once again more than waterfowl. You get a lot of benefits for other wildlife involved in that. Anyway, so I would encourage everybody to watch DU Nation. So we know that episode just came out a couple of weeks ago with Henry and Lakeisha, with Ronald and his daughter Katie Burke at their place in Tippo. It's entertaining. I'll check it out. And how can people find y'all on both the social media and or where to see your films?
All right. You can find us on our website at halohunting.com or on Facebook as well as Twitter, Instagram, all at Halo HALO Hunting, Halo Hunting Outdoors, or you can type in also Henry and Lakeisha Outdoors. It will come up there, and we're also on YouTube, so make sure you check us out on YouTube as well under Halo Hunting.
Very good, man. This has been great. Y'all have been great. And I tell you what, I think this is just the beginning of a great DU Nation relationship. I want to introduce y'all into different types of waterfowl hunting, and really we'll get into this for years to come. So really great to meet y'all, and great to have you here on the DU podcast.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. It's been most definitely been a pleasure. And hopefully this is not the last time, and we can make more memories in the field.
That's right, man. That's what it's all about. So thanks, everybody, once again for tuning into the Ducks Unlimited podcast and supporting wetlands and waterfowl conservation.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the DU Podcast. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit www.ducks.org/DU Podcast for resources based on today's topics, as well as access to more episodes. Opinions expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect those of Ducks Unlimited. Until next time, stay tuned to the Ducks. Stay tuned to the Ducks.